since we don't have that's happening right now in our community, who do you see has taken the place of the male role models in the absentee of the fathers in the black families?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. What you see is you see um, gang enrollment increasing. You see more kids listening to the rap music on a daily basis and being influenced by some of what they think is the norm or that's cool. You see people engaged in watching more violent TV shows or playing more violent video games. They need something to do. They need a role model, and they need more mentors to step up and say, "Hey, look, I can talk to Johnny on Tuesdays, or I can talk to Johnny on Saturdays." They need males in their lives.
Right, I agree with you 100%. So these males that are now substituting for their fathers, they are these rappers out here. They call them gangster rappers. How do you see as a see this gangster rap as it relates to the young people?
Well, a lot of young people see that as just pure entertainment, but some young people take it kind of serious, you know, and they believe that it's all right to be hard. It's all right to disrespect women. It's all right to say what you want to say, you know, because I'm just speaking my mind. But in the bigger scheme of things, you know, you have a society that you live in that has laws. And sometimes the music that they listen to is kind of lawless in society. And they do have jails that will put you in. And it's not a badge of honor to be arrested. It's not a badge of honor to go to jail. If somebody needs to relay that message to young people and let them know that, hey, there's some things that you can do to better yourself. And you can get educated by studying and trying to get the best grades that you can possibly get.
Well, one of the things, Daryl, having graduated from University of Michigan, I'm sure you had a course or two in psychology. Now, what type of effect would this hard rap, which suggests violence with guns, explicit description of sexual acts, denigration of black women, materialism, money, and a host of other negative values have on the black young people?
Well, it's like anything in life. If that's what you're exposed to every day, and that's what you're constantly listening to, some of it is going to penetrate your subconscious. And with that being said, is sometimes it becomes almost a norm, and we have to change that paradigm in the thinking. We have to let young people know that, hey, it's a better way of doing things. And if they're looking at their father and he's setting a negative example, then this is just reinforcing what they already are living. So we need people in the community to step up. We need the churches to step up. We need our community leaders to step up and lead by example of what a strong black male role model should be.
Well, right now, after 27 years of this degenerate rap, so-called, many of those kids are now in their 40s and raising families. So, what are we seeing today as a result of this negative, denigrating culture?
Well, if you look at the statistics and look at them real close, all the different murders that are taking place in your urban cities, if you look at the dropout rate that are occurring in your urban cities. You look at the D&Es, you look at the people that are being incarcerated, you will see that something has gone terribly wrong in the fiber of the urban community families. And this needs to be addressed as soon as possible. When you look at cities like Chicago, where you have your Minister Farrakhan there, you have that's where President Barack Obama came from. You had the Oprah Winfrey there. You had a lot of your strong community leaders there, and violence is running rapid there. Something needs to be done, because if it's not, then the next generation is going to fall prey to the same thing. When is this going to stop? And when people are going to say, hey, look, we need some more community centers, we need some more positive messages, we need some more billboards, we need some positive commercials on television. We need shows like the Bill Cosby show that was on, that during that era, when that show was on, more African American kids went to college during that time period and throughout the history of African Americans being in the United States. So what is that saying? We need some positive reinforcement.
Definitely, we definitely do. And when you have a president with a pulpit like he has, and he's saying nothing about the gangster rap and the influence it's having on the black young people, yet and at the same time he's embracing artists and inviting them to the White House, artists like Jay-Z and Beyonce, is that her name? Beyonce, whatever. Beyonce. He inviting them, and they're like the artists of the day or the artists of the year with him. And I can't understand that. And if you listen to some of Jay-Z's or read some of his lyrics, you'll be appalled at what he put out there. And here we got the President of the United States embracing this. And I'm beginning to think that a lot of this stuff is related to, like some people talk about, the Illuminati. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but it seems like there's a lot of satanic worshiping going on in this country. And I tell you, go ahead, Mr. Ghostin.
I don't know about that, but I can say is that he does have some teenagers in the house, and one of the things that they may enjoy listening to is some of their music, and most teenagers do like their music, but they still need their parents to inform them about some of the lyrics that are being said in the music, so they can have a better understanding, and then they're going to sneak and listen to it regardless. But at least they will be informed that this is this and this is that. And then they can make their own decision as they mature and they grow into adulthood. But just don't let a child just listen to it without any guidance, because then you're opening them up to a whole world of foolishness that can get them or land them in a bad situation.
Well, a lot of people like to say, well, the whites listen to this. Well, I'd just like to add a point to that. Well, the white kids may be listening to it, but I'll tell you what, they look at that as simple as entertainment. They don't look at it as something they aspire to be. But when black kids listen to this, they can readily identify with those people, because you look at the blacks, you go into the black ghettos, inner cities, and what do you see? They all dress alike. They all walk alike. They all act alike. And they're all trying to rap.
Well, it's the influence of the day. It's the time of the era in which the kids live. There were certain things that you did in your era and certain things that I did in my era.
That's not the point, Daryl. There was a lot of things going on in my era as well. but nothing as gross and gross tech as what's going on now with this rap music. I mean, I don't think you even do you get the point, Mr. Ghostin, of what this stuff is saying out there, what it's telling our kids? Have you listened and read the lyrics in here? What it says is so explicit. It's telling them what to do. And if a kid at 3, 4, 5, 6 years old started listening to that stuff, and like you said, there's no father, no parenting going on at the household because all the parents listening to the same thing. So what are they getting this stuff day in and day out? So what is happening to them?
Well, what it is doing is denigrating their self-worth. I remember one of the songs that I was listening to, where your hoes at? You know, what is that saying? And you see young people dancing and popping their finger to this and enjoying the beat, and they say, well, we're not really worried about the lyrics. We're just enjoying the beat. But subconsciously, what is that doing to you? You know, I think and I feel that people really need to take a listen to what is being said in these rap lyrics so they can really get an understanding of how degrading it is to women and to people, period.
Right, and I think that's part of the problems that we are having with this police thing. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to say there's not a problem with policemen. There is a situation where we have racist policemen, and we have racism in the police departments, and they do stop blacks unnecessarily, but they do have a badge of authority. So when they stop you, I mean, you should just follow their orders and do what they say. And I think because of a lot of this here rap and stuff like that, and what they're saying with their songs, F the police and different types of things that they are making reference to in there, a lot of these young people out here feel like they don't have to respond to what the police are telling them to do. And so they rebel. And what happens? These guys are waiting for an excuse, some of them, to shoot. And that's what's been happening. Because the rappers are telling them, and these rappers are not from the ghettos. Many of these guys are going on to college. And some are even college graduates. But yet they out here acting like, trying to give the impression that they've lived in the ghetto and they selling drugs and they've done this bling and that bling and all these different types of things. And then they talk about gang raping women, girls. And to me, I've got daughters, and I tell you, I mean, I'm concerned about them. I mean, they think it's something great to go out there and talk this stuff, and all of a sudden you get these here lunatics out there that's listening to that stuff over and over, and they think that's what they're supposed to do. You experienced that in college, I believe.
Yeah, but going back to your first point about the police, I think the police departments across this country need to have a little bit more community involvement, talking at schools, talking at community outings, going to your parks, talking to young people, because young people got to understand that the police is a valuable asset to the community. They help the moral fabric of keeping things in order and keeping the law. When you got to remember that a policeman is there for a reason, to protect and serve. You know, and when that boundary is crossed, then it's all distorted. When you look at your parents or elderly person, if they get in an accident or something happens, you're going to call the police. Or if you get in an accident in your car, you're going to call the police. The police has a number of valuable reasons why we need the police in our community. But we don't want to make the police, we don't want to alienate the police so that the police feels as if they're always threatened and they're always on the defense. There's got to be a happy medium, and by educating our young people, I think that can help bridge this misunderstanding between the police and young people.
Daryl, how can you educate young people when they got that rap out there telling them one thing? I heard the minister Farrakhan make the statement that a pastor can only reach so many people, but a rapper can reach millions of people by their recordings. So until they start making conscious rap or social rap and try to teach through their music, then there's I don't see any hope. As long as they continue to preach the same negative, denigrating, and degrading type of messages and fighting messages that they are putting out there right now, nothing is going to change. No matter how much you get in the pulpit of a church and talk. So something has to happen, has to start with the FCC or someone to start regulating the music and forget about the First Amendment rap amendment speech with this recording industry, because it's going beyond the First Amendment rights when it's infringing on everybody else's rights to have a decent society.
And I think you're right. And I remember when the FCC lifted some of the verbal restrictions on music, and I thought that was opening Pandora's box then. And you hear it on television also. And I think you're absolutely right. And I encourage people to write their congressmen and write their state rep and write their pastors about reversing that law and putting some more restrictions, or putting the restrictions back on what some of these people say in this music, because it's out of hand.
You're so right, Mr. Golston, and you're sort of saying, what can we do to stop this here spiral, just downhill and going downhill with morals and values? Let me ask you this question here, Mr. Golston. How would you go about organizing young men in the community to volunteer time to clean up their neighborhoods, help neighbors and elderly with work on their homes? Do you think they could learn a skill by volunteering with Habitat Humanity and building homes for families?
Most definitely. I was involved with AmeriCorps for several years, and we worked with Habitat for Humanity. It is an excellent way for young people to learn about how a house is put together, from the foundation to putting the frame up, to the electrical system, to putting the walls up, putting the roof on. It's an excellent way to learn how to get some skills for a young person to take with them as they grow older in their life.
Right.